It's Mock Draft Monday. We're at version 14.0. There's 17 days to the NFL draft. We got a few more weeks to get one of these right. Stick around, smash that like button, and let's get into it, faithful. Welcome, faithful, to the WayneBreezie Show's Mock Draft 14.0. That's right, we're at version 14.0. We have been doing these mock drafts 14 weeks straight, and we've probably seen just about every player. Now, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please click subscribe, all right? And don't forget, you can also support the channel by becoming a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. All you got to do is click on join. Check out our sponsors over at residency.com. Use that promo code SFBreezie, all right? And you guys can save on your total purchase for the show. All right, let's get to this mock draft Monday. I put trade alert in the title because I got my trade chart finally, right? And on top of that, PFF has been pretty accurate with the trades going off the trade chart. Now, the trade chart was a system that was created back in 1990 by Dallas Cowboys head coach Jimmy Johnson, which gave draft picks certain values, right? So obviously, the later in the draft, the value decreases when it comes to trades to the points. So we're going to use that particular trade chart system. Now, back in the 90s, they didn't have as far as the compensatory picks, and you couldn't trade compensatory picks up until recently. So obviously the chart has been updated and used. So I'm going to be using my trade chart. But I will say that the PFF trade calculator has been pretty accurate. All right, it has been pretty accurate. So guys, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm not going to waste your time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do appreciate you guys, and feel free to leave your comments in the comment section with the thumbs up or thumbs down to the draft selection. And I'm all about constructive criticism. So if you don't like a player that I select, if you don't agree with it, go ahead and give me a reason why and give me the player you would have selected at that particular pick. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and start the draft. We'll get it going. We're going to keep it on super fast speed. Now, look, there are a couple of positions that I think that the 49ers are going to set precedent for them to draft in the first round, just based off of recent draft history, which I will be doing a mock draft this weekend, this Saturday, which will be a 49ers mock draft based on recent draft history and what position they draft usually and what round. So stay tuned for that. All right. I think they're going to go probably defensive line, I would say, in this draft. Now, this draft is loaded with defensive line, so it changes things up a little bit. But with the PFF, the way things have been set, things have been changing in the NFL. So if you aren't sticking around, you got to check out my all 32 team mock draft that I do right here on the channel. And you can see that quarterbacks aren't going first anymore. And teams are feeling like these quarterbacks can drop because nobody's wanting a quarterback. Everybody has a quarterback except for one team in the NFL, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And even they have a quarterback in Mason Rudolph, but we'll see what happens. Cam Moore may not be the first pick, all right? And Shedeur Sanders may not be the second pick. So in this particular mock draft, they went Carter, Hunter, Graham, and Ted McMillan, Will Campbell, and Armand Membu, my top two tackles. I was surprised that the Bears went offensive line here, but I think they did it because they knew that the 49ers may just go offensive line. The Jets did take Cam Ward here at pick 7, so that's going to be interesting. He'll battle it out with Justin Fields and so forth and so forth. So this leaves a lot of defensive players available for the 49ers. And to get this pick right, the question is, what's going to be that need that's going to really solidify this team? I really think they go defensive tackle here. I feel like everything in my brain is saying going defensive tackle here. Love the edge rushers in the draft. Love Mike Green. You've seen me mock draft him plenty of times before. Love Donovan Ezeraku. A lot of people don't really feel like he would be the fit. But when you got a person, he may be a little undersized, that has the best bend, best three cones, and all the moves to rush the quarterback, plus a high pass rush win rate, 18.2%. And look at his true pass set rush grade at 90.7. If you're going to get help for Nick Bosa, this is the guy. If you feel, you know what I'm saying? But I think in this particular draft, I'm looking to trade down. And I want to see if there's a specific team that's willing to trade up. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't trade out the 20s. I don't think that the 49ers are going to trade within their division. So the Cardinals, Seahawks, yeah, those are sexy, but I just don't think they will. But I do think they can get the best bang for their buck if they trade with the Los Angeles Chargers. All right. Now, according to my trade chart, all right, for the Chargers to move up 11 spots, all right, from 22 to 11, it's going to cost them 1,250 points. All right. So right now, this trade is lopsided, but the Niners can ask for more back. All right. So they can ask for the Chargers' second round pick in this draft. All right. Now, I did the math already. If I'm going to get the second round pick, they still owe us more, because the second round pick for the Chargers, according to the chart, is worth 350 points. And so I'm also going to ask for their second, but this puts the 49ers in a deficit. Okay. So now it's over the value. We're at 1290 right now. And that 11th pick is only 1,250 points. So bear with me. We'll get to this first pick. This will probably be my biggest trade here. All right. And so now I owe them a pick back, and we owe them a pick of 40 points. Okay, so now my fourth round pick, one of my fourth round picks, because we can trade compensatory picks. All right, we can trade compensatory picks. So I'm going to probably look to give up either a fifth round pick or a fourth round pick. I pretty much want to give up a fifth. The fourth makes the math better. All right, the fourth round pick for the 49ers is worth 37, so that's close to 40 points. And if I'm going to be as realistic as possible, I want to do that. And I still got my fifth round picks. And so pick 138, excuse me, is the pick that I'm going to move off. It's a compensatory pick. It's worth 37 points. They more than likely will make this trade. All right. So I know that the Green said it would have been accepted, but people have been giving me flack about trade not being last. This is it. This is the point. So right now we owe them literally 3 points. So we're under the point. So boom, we're going to accept this trade and we're going to resume the draft. Why? Because Graham, Hunter, Carter, Campbell, and Membu were the top 5 guys I think that are on the 49ers board, and they're all gone. So let's go ahead and get back to the draft and let's see who's available. Boom. And so I said I wanted to go defensive tackle here, and I want to go at the best defensive tackle that's not Mason Graham in this draft. And yeah, there are guys that got higher pass rush win rates for sure. But for me, it's all about it's all about the Nolan, the guy that's a stout against the run. He has a 10.9% pass rush win rate, which means he gets to the quarterback. He can play all over the defensive front. You can see he can play in the A gap, the B gap. All right. So when we're talking about these gaps, we're talking about their assigned number, their technique, whether he's playing the 1, the 3. He can play nickel. I mean, he can play over the center at the nose tackle as well. So he can play outside the tackle, off the ball. Like, this guy can play it well. He's really good at stopping the run. Does he have some tendencies that he needs to work on? For sure, especially when he's commanding double teams. He gets a little weak in the double teams, but I think these can be polished out with great defensive line coaching. And who coaches the defensive line better than Chris Kocurek in the NFL? He'll be getting a monster in Walter Nolan. The pick is in. Let me make sure I got my draft chime sound. I used to have it. There it is. Hopefully that worked for y'all. Y'all can hear it out there. Boom, Walter Nolan is the pick. Now, we got ourselves some extra picks in this draft. As you can see, we have our second round pick, which now you can really look to add some other weapons, whatever it is you choose to do, because now you have multiple picks in the top 100. And so we're gonna get we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks in the top 100. You know, that's a big thing for me. But I do think they still look to address certain needs. I see big wide receiver Jaden Higgins there. We already went with the interior. Now, how are we going to go offensive line here? And I think this is where the Niners kind of go, let's get the best available player at a position that we feel like we need. So I like cornerback, the cornerback position. I think they went cornerback last year in the second round and drafted Renardo Green. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that again. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again. Now, there's several cornerbacks up here that I do like. There's also an edge rusher that I see. Nobody's talking about this kid from LSU, Braden Swinson, right? If you want a pretty stout pass rusher at 6'4", 250, okay? I didn't get Mike Green. I didn't get those guys, all right? But I need a guy that has great hands, dangerous hands, can shed blocks, can set the edge as well. All right. In the system. And I understand he might be undersized. He may be 250. He may fit, but I still think the fluidity and the speed that we need opposite of Nick Bosa is what's key. I don't think we need to get a 6'4", a 6'4", 6'5", 200 and 64-pound guy, right? I just don't think that's what we need. We need a guy that we know can get to the quarterback. I'm really liking Braden Swinson. I also liked Princely Umamalian out there. I see him out there as well. But I wanted to go with somebody that I felt like is he going to struggle in the run game? And I think when you look at his run defensive grade, that's where you question. You know he's played top tier talent. If you look at his grades, he only had two good graded games against UCLA, against Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? So when I come down to that, that's kind of like where I'm looking at, like who's going to be the best run defender. And so why not? Maybe we go with his teammate. Maybe we go with the teammate. He played really well against Georgia. They have a dynamic offense. Had a poor game against LSU, as you can see. But he is better against the run. He is better against the run. And I think he stands a little bit taller. He's a little bit heavier in size as well. 6'3", 6'4", 255. You can see he has the first step to get off. That's what Chris Kocurek likes. You know what? Back-to-back players for me from Mississippi. Now, we've addressed the defensive front, and now we have an extra pick right here in round 2, right? So our second round pick, which we got in the trade with the Los Angeles Chargers. Now the Niners can look to do some things, all right? And so when you're looking at the board, you say, all right, we addressed 2 needs. We got the defensive front intact. What else can we address? Well, let's go get, to me, I think, when you look at it, when you want a home run hitter in the draft who did home run hitting consistently, and you have an opportunity to get a pass catching back, if you want, to me, a better version, a healthier version of what Elijah Mitchell was, this is the guy. And you can see his consistency in his production from 2023. Now, remind you, in 2024, he shared the rock with Quinshon Judkins, right? Transfer. So I've never had an opportunity to draft a kid like this. And I know people are like, we're never drafting a running back in the second round. What are you, crazy? But hear me out. Hear me out. When you look at the running back position, the running back room, it is Christian McCaffrey. It's Isaac Guerrero. I feel like that's going to be the depth right there. And then it's, the guys you brought in, Israel Abanaconda, as well as Patrick Taylor Jr., they just re-signed, or Patrick Taylor II, they just re-signed a 1-year deal. But I'm looking for the future. And I'm not saying that Isaac Guerrero isn't the future, but the Niners like the 2 kind of running back system where if they could get one guy to give him a break, that one time they put that guy in can potentially get a home run. I'm going to go out here on a limb with a pick that I did not have originally, and I'm going to draft Travion Henderson, running back out of the Ohio State. All right, running back out of the Ohio State. So I've addressed defensive front, most important. I do feel like they need another corner. They don't have to really reach for a corner anymore. I see a couple of guys right here that I feel like I can wait. Dorian Strong, Jacob Parrish, Kobe Bryant be my top three. Noel Williams, I liked him, especially in the East West Shrine game. Wide receiver, tight end can be a position, tackle, linebacker, right? We need that linebacker. I feel like at the linebacking position, who is going to replenish the production of Dre Greenlaw? Do the Niners have that guy currently on the roster? I think they're going to give that guy a shot. Now I could look to trade back a couple of spots. I see I could trade back with the New England Patriots and potentially gain more. Now, as you get lower in the draft, the trade value is a lot less, and so it's a little bit easier to trade when you're here. So if I wanted to swap this, I could ask for, well, they're not going to give me 106, but I could try to get like pick 144, and just to make the balance there, I can kind of like cough up one of my compensatory picks in the seventh round, and it's two spots. So why not trade back two spots and get an extra, fourth round pick here? I think this, fifth round pick. I think this would be pretty spot on. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the trade with the Patriots and see who they grab. And so they grabbed players that again, offensive line, linebacker, tight end. If you're looking for that tight end, you can check out Steph's show on 49er K podcast. We talked about what type of tight end the 49ers are probably going to go after. And Mason Taylor definitely fits that. But I think they go offensive line here. And Ozzie Trapillo has been a guy that I just think you get mean up front, right? You get mean up front. He's great in pass blocking. He can play over the offensive line. He can play kick in and play guard. He stands in at 6'8", 309, so he's a monster. Brock won't be able to see over him. That's a joke too, by the way. Or you can go with a more athletic offensive lineman, right? More athletic offensive lineman who's better in run blocking, not pass blocking. And I think you could get that guy a little bit later. Get me the pass protector in here right away. It's tough because I see Kyle Williams there as a wide receiver, Chris Paul there. I do have pick 86. I think I'm going to go with the tackle here, Ozzie Trapillo. You're starting to see me kind of like mock him a little bit more. And you know what? Maybe not at 77. Maybe is that too rich? Nah, it's not too rich to get the tackle. We're in round 3. Get your offensive lineman. Boom. All right. And just like that, my man is gone because I thought he might have lasted and he did not. Um, uh, and that's cool. It's cool. It's cool. All right. So we're at pick 86. All right. This is an extra pick that we got in the draft. And this is one of those picks you can kind of, you can kind of spend. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about offensive lineman, I see Jarrett Wilson there. All right. But I feel like the 49ers got their offensive lineman and they'll get another one with one of those duplicate picks because we just picked up, I think, an extra fourth or extra fifth round pick. So we'll look to go back to the offensive line. But here's where you can add, to me, if you're looking for a wide receiver that is a route god. All right. We're talking about a guy that runs routes very well, can get open very well. Before I draft, I want to see what other wide receivers are available. I do see Savion Williams there. Torrey Horton from Colorado State is one of my sleeper guys. But Kyle Williams has moved himself up the rankings. And you can see his ADP was 145.8, but he moved up the rankings because I've been talking about this young gentleman for the longest. Washington State wide receiver. Now, I like this kid, and he's, again, 86 is not our original pick. I feel like the San Francisco 49ers can get a steal in round 3 in selecting a wide receiver like him. I know it's not a need of position. We can use the tight end. That can kind of like get open for sure. I see Terrence Ferguson there as well. Let's go check out the corners. I want to make sure my corners are still available, which they are. Linebackers, that's an important position. All right. So Jeffrey Bossa, Barrett Carter, Kobe King, Cody Simon. Those are some guys that I definitely like. I'm high on Jay Higgins more than most. Teddy Buchanan, a hella athletic guy, a little bit later on in the draft. Like the Jeffrey Bossa guy, though. Think that might be a route we go. I think it's coming down for me. Kyle Williams, the receiver, versus Terrence Ferguson, the tight end. When you look at Terrence Ferguson, he's going to be your receiving tight end. This is the guy that's going to be, he's kind of like a Colston Loveland. He's literally the same guy. Same position. They play the same way. I think Colston Loveland is just a better route runner when it comes to tight end. And I mean, if you look at the production from both, you're going to get the same. Ferguson had a way better offense, way better quarterback, way better system to catch him, but he had to share the rock with the wide receivers. But look where he lines up: in line, slot. This is what I like. You know what I mean? He can be utilized over the field. Had great speed, one of the fastest 40 times, I believe, for the tight end. He might have had the fastest 40 time. Let me check my tight end chart, which you guys can get on the Patreon, and it only costs you $1. So if you want all my charts and data, all you got to do is sign up for the Patreon, pay the dollar tier, and you'll have access to this stuff. All you got to do is click on the link. It'll give me your email, and I'll grant you access to the data that I have that I use. All right, so for the combine, Terrence Ferguson, yes, highest RAS score, highest 40-yard dash, highest 10-yard split. He did not run the 3-cone and the shuttle, but he's a mover. He's a mover, and I like him. But the question is, do I want to go wide receiver here? Because I'm looking at the wide receivers. Yeah, the Niners can get another guy. I see Ty Felton there. But it really gets scarce. Like, you really got to kind of pick your poison. Like, I like Nick Nash as well. Kyle Williams, though, here just makes the most sense. So there's my pick. And look, Ferguson went to the Green Bay Packers. You could tell that I know about these players because they go, as soon as I don't draft them, they get picked up right away. They get picked up right away. Now, Terrence Ferguson is available. I did not go tight end here. And I didn't go tight end because I'm going to go with one of the guys that the San Francisco 49ers have actually had a top 30 visit with, and they've worked out. And it sucks because I have to pick between two of my favorite players, which is David Walker and Harold Fannin Jr. in this draft, and I'm not going to get one of them, right? One of those guys are not going to be mine. And I understand. And I'm just going to have to go with who I think the 49ers need. And I want that versatile tight end. I want the guy that can line up all over the place. So the pick is in round 3, tight end Harold Fannin Jr. And you're going to see some of these guys mock, right? Like some of these guys you've seen mocked before. Another guy that the 49ers are high on right here on the big board, which I don't have to go too in depth. I need to address the cornerback position. Why? Because I'm looking for that next cornerback up, right? The guy that I feel like plays good in man coverage, can play good in zone coverage. All right. It's a great tackler. All right. This is the guy. You're not going to get the ball hawk. You're literally getting another version of what Deommodore Lenoir was when he came out of Oregon, which we drafted in the 5th round. I think in this 4th round, we can go with the kid Jacob Parrish from Kansas State, 5'10", 198. All right. Look, the kid is amazing. I got a chance to watch him at the Senior Bowl. I mean, Reese's Senior Bowl, and everything that I saw from him was like, yeah. I mean, they had some other guys there, but everything that I saw from him was yeah. All right. Now, the reason why I'm going here with him, because number one, he's available. Let me make that clear. Number 2, the 49ers talked about getting faster at the cornerback position. So if speed is if speed is a need, now he didn't have the fastest 40 for cornerbacks. The fastest 40 was Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky, but he ran a 4.35. And these wide receivers, in my opinion, are getting faster in the NFL. All right, they're getting faster in the NFL. All right, faster. And so I need a guy that I know that's going to be able to keep up with some of these guys. All right, that's what I need. All right. Now, if you look at the competition, all right, you could probably be like, all right, his best game was the first game. We got an 81.4. He played decent against Houston, but who was Houston's wide receivers? Cincinnati, who were their wide receivers? I get it. You probably be like, the competition wasn't there. I think me seeing him at the Senior Bowl and what the Niners like to do with their due diligence at the Senior Bowl lets me know that he is a definitely top prospect for the San Francisco 49ers because he shut every wide receiver down at the Senior Bowl. And I think those are the elite guys, right? So, boom, there you go. All right, so we've addressed the so far, just to do a quick recap, because now we're getting to round 5. To me, this is the money round, right? This is where the San Francisco 49ers really like to hit and hit on these picks, especially from back in the day. You think of some of our top fifth round picks and George Kittle, Dre Greenlaw, Diamador Lenore, just to name a few. These are some of the guys that the Niners really like to hit hard on. Now we got an extra fifth round pick because we made a trade. So 144, this is our extra pick right here. And there's several trade backs. I think this is where the San Francisco 49ers can look to double up. They can look to reach a little bit. They did meet with cornerback Elijah Huzzy from North Carolina. I think the interior and the defensive front is another place that I would go. Because I'm still looking for again, remember I said the fifth round, we may come back to that particular position. Let me check the interior defensive tackles just to see who's available. I did like Simeon. All right. I love Ty Robinson. I feel like he just plays with a different grit for the 49ers. And he just plays with a different grit. But these guys might be a little bit too early. Cam Horsley would be a sleeper pick out of Boston College. Like, you want a big motherfucker that could come in here and stop the run. That's what you're gonna get. So let's keep him on the burner for right now. Not the super back burner, but just the burner a little bit. We might be able to snack him up maybe in rounds. We might be going in round 7. So we have to reach for him in round 6. Unless we trade down out of that 160 pick. We got 3 fifth round picks. And so if we trade back, that might work best for us. All right, Chase Blunt is there. The right tackle from UConn. Nobody's really talking about him much. We've got our we've pretty much named our positions. If I want to get mean up front, this is the round you could get mean up front when you're looking at the guards. I'll tell you my favorite guards that are available. Luke Condra, Connor Cobley is there. Miles Frazier. I don't understand why he's ranked so low. He's meeting with the 49ers. Miles Frazier had a phenomenal Senior Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if they look to go a little bit later to get Miles Frazier. Jackson Slater is one of my favorites. Good Senior Bowl as well. So I feel like the guard position right now, I don't have to go after the Luke Condra guy. I think I can kind of wait a little bit on Luke. I wouldn't mind doubling up on edge. Again, Tyler Batty is there. This kid just wins to me. Like, he's like the best of both worlds. And I liked him. I like what I saw on film from Tyler Batty, BYU, Fred Warner's alma mater. He has an 8.82 RAS score, 4.78 speed, 169 10-yard split, 7.213 cone, and a 4.5 shuttle, 4.54. I kind of like him, but he's the typical guy. Like, Tyler Barron is there as well. You can see, right? Ja Joyner is there. Fidel Diggs I do like Tyler Barron. I ain't gonna stunt. I wonder if I could get him in the 6th. And with my pick 147. This is a pick that I did not have. I'm gonna go ahead and reach. I'm gonna double up on the edge and get Tyler Barron from Miami. All right, we're in there like swimwear. Tyler Barron is gone. So we've doubled up on the edge. We got Princely and Tyler Barron. So I feel like we've got for the future of this team, because we don't know what's going on with Drake Jackson. Is he going to retire? What's good with him? And then the rest of the guys that we have behind Nick Bosa, I think you could draft some rookies and they could really come in and give these guys really good competition. That's just my opinion on the situation. Safety, Upton Stout. Now, he's available, and I never really get a chance to draft him. He's really a nickelback. And so, this is a good value right here because you're looking to get a guy that can play in the slot, play in the nickel, and you can get an extra corner. He's listed as a safety, which I like. And so if the Niners are looking to go safety late, he could be a guy that they can actually play the position. He can cover the field. Again, as you can see, this is kind of like what he does. He reminds me of a CJ Gardner Johnson. Like, really, that's what you're gonna get. They don't have a scout report on him, but I do know about him. Was at the Senior Bowl as well. He's gonna be one of my guys. All right, we're at that 160th pick, and I said here, I don't know. I do want to address the interior on both sides. I got 3 picks left. I do want to address the interior. I'm believing I could get the defensive interior, Cam Mosley there, Horsley there, excuse me. I really feel like I could get him there. As far as my guard, Miles Frazier, I should be able to get in the next round. There hasn't really been a run on guards, but again, I pick at 160. So for this 5th round pick, what's that last player that I feel like the 49ers need? And he's staring me right in the face, and I'm not going to overpass. I'm going to go with the linebacker, right? Because we drafted Great Dre Greenlaw at this time. Now, he's more of a Mike, but I feel like he can play all 3 linebacking positions wherever you put him. I feel like he has the speed. He has just what he needs. Great hands as a defender, can shed blocks very well out there at 6'1". I like Kobe King. I don't know why he's not getting more talk about in this upcoming draft process, but there's my last pick in the 5th round. And then we're gonna, we just gotta play our luck, I guess, when you get to the 7th round. Technically, I could have tried to trade back and see, but it looks like there's been a run. All right. It looks like there's been a run. So my guy is gone as far as the guard. And as far as the defensive interior tackle, he's gone as well. And I knew it. I knew I was gonna play the gamble, even though that their ranks were a little bit like lower than what they said, because these players have certain traits that I feel is going to help them, you know, boost up in this draft, right? I really do. Um, we've addressed every position here. We've gotten just about we got our interior, we got our edge, we got a halfback. Look at the halfback we got. We got a tackle. I think we're gonna go offensive line here for sure. Just got to see who's available. We got our tight end, we got a wide receiver, got a corner, doubled up on edge, got a safety, got a linebacker. So the defense, in my opinion, is pretty stacked. It's pretty stacked. Tim McKay, Joshua Gray, Clay Webb. There's some guys. That's why I said there's some offensive interior guys that are still available that you can get in this draft. All right. So don't sit there and be like, whatever. I like the small school guy, the Jack State guy. All right. So we're gonna go Clay Webb probably here. You can see left guard is a position that the Niners need to fill. Will he be able to come in and start left guard right away? Here's what I like about him. All right. Now I know his true pass set block grade is a 50.7. It's probably just type of offense. They ran a lot of different types of offenses, a lot of play action, probably a lot of screens. Well, the Niners need to get back into running some of that type of stuff too. And so when you get a guy that could come in here, his pass block grade against that type of stuff is a 72.7. And so, when you just dropping back, whether it's a 3-step drop or shotgun and with the 5 steps back already, yeah, he's going to probably struggle in pass pro. He can get a little better, but just he's a former 5-star recruit. He's a former wrestler. I just feel like those are traits you're looking. Is he a little bit lightweight? Yeah, but I mean, that's what they had him here. As far as in the combine, I don't think he participated in the combine, but I definitely can check to see if he's on my sheet. Uh, yeah. He weighed in at 312. So that right there upped his weight. So 6'3", 312, I'll take it. Athletic scores is 8.75. I'll take it. He ran a 4.9 shuttle. That's pretty daggone decent for me. For a big guard, all right? That means he can move to that second level. So the pick is in for me. It's gonna be Clay Webb, Jacksonville State. And with the last pick, 249, because we traded our last 7th round pick, we got rid of that pick. I mean, this is where you're looking to get a definitely contributor, extra player on special teams, whether it's a receiver, a linebacker, safety, cornerback, one of those type of guys, right? And who's going to be able to contribute best on special teams for the San Francisco 49ers. Look up Trayshawn Holden. I just wanted to see how he is out there. 6'3", 205. So a big wide receiver. All right. Malachi Moore. I don't understand. Malachi Moore, for me, it's gonna come down between Malachi Moore. I see him here. Hunter Warler is there too, but there's something about this kid, man. Like it's just, why is he not where he needs to be? I don't know. Like I can't figure out why he's not getting talked about a lot more. I look at his versatility. He could line up the defensive line, slot, play the nickel, outside corner, box. But where does he play? Strong safety. 7th-round pick. I know we got us a safety. Again, we really drafted a nickel back, in my opinion. So we got 2 corners here. But if you really want that true free safety, Malachi Moore is available, and I think he'll be able to contribute on special teams. I think that's the pick for me out of Alabama, Malachi Moore. And there you have mock draft 14.0. We had some killer trades in the draft. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see how the grades panned out. All right. Now, look, we made that first trade, just a quick recap, and I will be breaking down this mock draft. I'll be going over the players. We'll go through their stats. We'll go through possibly a little film, see how they play in specific situations on the Patreon. So go to www.patreon.com/the WayneBreezie. Sign up for the $5 tier. You'll be able to watch this particular episode as I break down these draft picks. All right. Now, they did not like me selecting Travion Henderson. You can see that the mock draft assistant said I should have went with Isaiah Thomas, the corner, because I needed a corner. I was supposed to address the corner need, and the best available corner at the time was Isaiah Thomas. Now, you know I love me some Isaiah Thomas. He's one of my top 5 corners, but I saw a home run hitter and a running back that doesn't have to come in and be your starting running back right away. Now, God forbid Christian McCaffrey isn't good to go. I really think drafting a Travion Henderson, he could potentially beat out all the running backs, just like Elijah Mitchell did when he didn't beat out Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert had an injury, but he beat out the remaining running backs that were on the roster. So I actually like that pick. Whatever. All right, Walter Nolan, we got an A. Princely, Uman-Malian, we got Uman-Milan, we got an A-. Travion Henderson, C+. We made the first trade. So for those that want to know what happened, we traded down with the Los Angeles Chargers. All right. And we were able to get swap 1st-round picks. We got their 2nd and a 3rd-round pick, but we did give up one of our 4th-round picks to get that. And then we traded again, and with the New England Patriots, we traded down 2 spots and we got an extra 5th, but we gave up a 7th. All right. Now we did draft Ozzie Trapillo. All right, we got Kyle Williams, the wide receiver, Harold Fannin. We got Jacob Parrish. We got an A- for Tyler Barron. I don't know why people sleeping on this kid, this edge rusher out of Miami, but I get it. It is what it is. Upton Stout, Kobe King, Clay Webb, Malachi Moore. We closed out the draft pretty daggone good. So I like this. B+, it's hard to get these A's and the A-. I mean, unless you really draft the position needs first. I went out of position for those that are tuning in, and it's okay, because I think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to be looking to get some really good premier players in the real draft, which is 17 days away. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Smash that like button again. If you're new to the channel, thank you for watching. Please click on subscribe, all right? And feel free to support here by joining the Breezie Bunch crew. Again, shout out to our sponsors over at residency.com. Use that promo code SFBreezie so you can save on your total purchase, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Let's get it, baby. 49ers faithful all day. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.